Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So today what I'm going to do, I will talk about the product rules. In the last episode, I talked about the package configuration. So if you haven't watched it, I would highly encourage you to go and check it out. Right now, when we talk about CPQ, right, product rules plays a very important role. Uh, Plays an important role, right? Now you must be wondering why, right? Because the product role, right? Product rules, it helps ensure the sales reps are putting together the right products and bundles every single time. So what that means is that you don't have to worry about mucking up, say, bundles. So for instance, like you have a desktop as a product bundle. So desktop contains like monitor, processor. Say for instance, you don't want it to ship multiple processors, right? Along with the desktop bundle. So you can use the product rule to stop it. So that's pretty much I'm going to demonstrate today. So it's pretty much hands-on today. So not much theory, so that you get an idea. So the first thing first, right? What we're going to do, we're going to have to create a product rule. So I've already created one, but I'm going to walk you through each and every step so that it becomes very clear. Now, there are four kinds of product rules, which we're going to look at it. But today, I'm going to look at only the validation rules, right? So, talking which, so we have validation rules, selection rules, filter rules, alert rules. Okay. So, what we're going to do, let's jump into the org and let's dive into each, settings so that it becomes very clear. So, if you're going to study for CPQ, I would highly encourage you to get an org, register for an org, and then do hands-on. It's very important, you guys, to do hands-on, right? Just by listening to the videos, it's just not good enough. You have to get that muscle memory growing. It's very important, guys. Okay, so I logged into my org, so I'm in the CPQ app. So this is the product rules. Um, so I've created a product rules called computer, which is a very silly rule. So the requirement is okay. So I'll show you what is the business requirement. So I'll go to the code, right? I'll create a code and I create a code line item. Um, so and I'm gonna try to add a bundle, right? I have demonstrated how to add an item to the code in one of the episode. If you haven't watched it, please check that out, right? That's just an introduction when I mentioned how to create a code and print a PDF, right? So I've mentioned how to add items to the code. All right, so I'm gonna add a product. Um, so desktop computer, just gonna add a desktop computer. If you still find my voice is a bit clunky, unfortunately, I still haven't recovered from the cough. So, so my voice is a bit strange. I get that, right? And it's healing. It's gonna take time, right? Right. So as you can see, this is a product bundle, right? So what I wanted to do, say you can add monitors, you can add laser printer, right? Say for instance, I wanted to have a validation in place, so where I wanted to stop, say for instance, let's say I wanted to add a laser printer, right? Let's say I can add 5 laser printer. Okay. All right, it's added. That's okay, that's fine. So if you would have noticed that there's something called the monitor. So I wanted to have a validation rules where I will not like to add more than, say 3 monitors to this product bundle because, that's otherwise it will muck up the bundle, right? It makes no sense. You're for instance, you're shipping a desktop, you're shipping like 50 monitors. It doesn't make any sense, right? I understand 2 monitors, right? People wanted to work with 2 monitors or 3 monitors, but more than that, it's pointless, right? I mean, you cannot work with 5 or 6 monitors at a time. So to not to muck up the bundle, we need to put the validation in place so that user will not be able to select certain number of monitors for a product bundle called desktop computer. Okay, so let's create a product rule first. So I've already created one. So okay, so when you go to product rule, click on new. So it will take you to something here, and we're gonna do edit. Okay, so I gave the name of a product rule. I know it's a silly name. I just gave computer and the type, right? Type is important here. So like I mentioned, there are four kinds of the four types. One is a validation rule. Validation rule, it's pretty much like a normal validation rules you have in Salesforce, right? It validates, certain conditions, and if it fails, it throws up error message. That's pretty much it is, right? In simple terms. Selection rules, it set up a rule to automatically add, remove, hide, enable, or disable option in a bundle. That's in a nutshell what selection rule is about. Then we have filter rule. It's pre-filter the products that are available to add to the bundle. Alert rule, which pretty much alerts, right? Like for instance, in validation rule, if you violate the validation, uh, then it will not let you save, right? But in alert rule, it will let the user say, hey, we have a problem there, but I'll still let you save, right? Guide and inform through message during configuration or pricing. That's in simple terms. Okay, so you choose that, and then we have a condition. Condition means that, okay, I want every condition to be met, or I want any condition to be met, or custom condition, right? Okay, one or two or three. So we're gonna deal about that a bit later. So just for now, I just want every condition to be met. Okay, pretty simple. So just keep it simple. And scope. You can have the product to scope to the product bundle or to the code bundle. So in most of the scenarios, we normally go for the product bundles, though we can use the code bundle, but just for the simplicity, I'm just going to keep to the product bundle. I can imagine that this is going to be a bit challenging for you if you are doing this for the first time, because it might be confusing. So, just to keep it simple, just to give you, a comfortable demo, I just wanted to keep option pretty simple, right? We can go to the advanced stage as we, proceed along with the course, right? So product scope means we are only keeping the focus to the bundle, right? Product bundle. Okay, advanced condition, forget about it. Evaluation event, you can, none means it never fires. Load means when you load the configuration. Edit means when you do edit the field. Save means when you're doing a save. Always means always triggers it, right? Irrespective of edit or whatever. Evaluation order is just the order which you wanted to evaluate. So for now, just leave it. And the message, right? Like I said, you can only select max 2 monitors. Like, my business decides that we only going to ship 2 monitors for the desktop. Okay, so this is a message. Okay, now that's done. Now, after that, we have to create error condition and configuration configuration rules. Now, what is an error condition and why do we need it? Obviously, you create a product rule, right? But it should get fired. Otherwise, what's the point of creating a product rule when it's never get initiated, right? It has to be triggered by something, right? And that something is where we're going to define an error condition. Okay, now before I jump into error condition, I need to create something called summary variables. Summary variables is like, um, say for instance, it will help you with the error condition to filter out certain things. Okay, so let me go to summary variables. Okay, so I've created something called summer monitor. Okay, so you can go to new and do that here. Now let me do edit. Okay, now this summary variable I'm going to use in the error condition. Okay, it's like you're telling, okay, give me a sum of a product in a bundle starting with, say, monitor. Okay, so in a bundle, say for instance, I have 2 monitors, so it will give me the sum as 2. Okay, so I'm saying give me the sum of monitor. What is the aggregate function sum? And which field you're going to aggregate on, quantity, and what object you're going to target. Is you're going to target the product option. Okay, these are the options you have. Now, obviously, it's like firing a SQL query. Select sum of quantity from product option. Okay, but what about the where clause? So these are the where clause. We're saying, okay, the where clause is where product code equals to this, right? So you're saying select sum of quantity, say something like that. I'll show you. I've done something similar like something like that, right? So this is, I'll give you something like that. So it's just I'll just give you a dummies. Select sum of uh, quantity from whatever, right? Product option. I can't remember the name of the object, but just give you an idea where product, code equals to whatever, like blah blah blah, right? So this is what this gonna uh, give you, right? The sum of the summary variable. Mind you, right, you have to be very careful when using this because it contributes towards the governor limit or Sokal limit. So just be aware of it, right? Just don't go crazy about using it. So use it wisely. So I'm gonna use it because I wanted to get the sum of monitors, which is gonna be part of the bundle. So I wanted to make sure that give me the sum of the monitor. Sum of what I'm gonna do here. I'm just saying, give me the sum of monitor, a sum of quantity of a monitor in that bundle, right? So that's pretty much I'm doing. Okay, so now let's go to the error condition. Okay, we're going to go to the same product rule. So to create an error condition, you need to create a rule first, okay? You can't create an error condition first. Okay, so let's go to the error condition, okay, and let's edit it. So what I'll do, index means, so it's just you might have multiple error conditions. So I'm just saying this is the first, which needs to be fired, and the tester variable. So I'm not concerned about any of this stuff. Although you can add code line, but I'm not concerned about any of this stuff. I'm just saying, okay, give me the tester variable, which is the summary variable. Okay, and now that's great. So I have the variable in place. Now they say, okay, so I got the variable in place. Say, now what exactly you want me to do with that variable? So you're saying that, okay, if the sum of that value variable, if it's greater than 2, then fire the error condition. Okay, or let's say I wanted to make it 3, right? Let's say my business decides that you should only supply 3 monitors with a desktop because it's silly to supply 4 or 5, right? I mean, obviously you can't use 5 monitors at the same time using a single desktop. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the reason. Uh, you know, some may argue why not, but in general, right? I mean, I cannot use more than 2 monitors at a time, right? Some people do 3, but 5 is far too fresh, right? Okay, all right. So I'm just saying here, okay, the sum of monitor, that's the sum of that monitor. If it's greater than 3, throw an error, right? Throw in validation error. So that's exactly what it's going to do. Um, Now, once that's done, right, we got one more step to do, right? And that is configuration rule. We just need to link it to this configuration rule. So you can create a new, right? And so I've already done that. So what do you have to do? It's pretty simple. Oh, crap. Sorry. Just make it active, choose the product, which, where you want this to be fired. So I'm just saying desktop computer, um, and the product rule. Just select the product rule which you've created. There you go. And once that's in place, let's see if it gets fired or not. Okay, let's go to code, and I create a code, right? So I'm gonna try the existing code, and just gonna wait. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the desktop. I'm gonna choose this, right, and do select. Okay, so now most of the things in a bundle you can't change, but we can certainly change these things. So let's say if I do 2, it will work, right? Okay, so that's great. Now what I'm going to do, I will um, go to the monitor, and I don't know if I can change it. Okay, no, never mind. What I'll do, I will add another product. And since uh, I mentioned that before, that product rule is specific to the product, not to the code. So what I'll do, I will just select this and say I wanted to ship 4, right? Because we have validation rule in place, you cannot ship more than 3. Okay, so I'll just do save. Let's see what happens. Right, you cannot select max 2 monitors with the desktop. All right, that's a misleading message. I understand. I know why. Because we changed the number from 2 to 3, but we didn't change it here. Okay, so we can just say 3, go back here. I mean, you might see this kind of mistake happening, right? The reason why, I've seen this happen. So I just thought it's an opportunity for me to demonstrate this as well, right? So if you see something like this, just go back to the product rule and fix it. It's pretty simple, right? Okay, let's go back to the code again and see whether we can replicate it. So go to edit lines, and so we're gonna add product, and we just say desktop, computer, and just say desktop, select. Okay, so now let's go back to the monitor, and I'll say, okay, I want to change it to 4. I wanted to ship 4, whether I can do or not. Let's see. All right, you can only select max 3 monitors, right? So that's pretty sweet because that's exactly what we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to trigger this product rule to ensure that a user or sales rep will only be able to select max 3 monitor with that bundle. So there you go. That's pretty much I wanted to cover in today's episode. My apologies that if you think my voice is still a bit clunky, yeah, I'm recovering, so I'm trying my best, right? So and trust me, guys, I really desperately feel like coughing, but somehow I'm holding on to it so that not to cough. So in saying that, I'm just going to end this conversation right here. So I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday. Adios.